Greetings and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As always, Rich is doing another video on XRP today. I hope everyone is having a great day wherever they are in the world. We will be discussing XRP, and I frequently discuss the widespread adoption of cryptocurrency on this channel and say the National Cryptocurrency Association is the source of this information. The use of cryptocurrency by retailers is growing. Cryptocurrency was discussed as an investment for years. These days, it's widely accepted as a form of payment at big box businesses, coffee shops, gas stations, and even neighborhood mom and pop shops. Here's how using cryptocurrency to check out is as simple as using Venmo or Apple Pay, the old barriers then. From cumbersome wallets to lengthy wait times to QR codes and digital tapping, cryptocurrency payment methods have changed over time. These days, the back-end conversion of cryptocurrency to dollars is handled by reputable payment processors like BitPay and PayPal. At checkout, what does this mean? Businesses may easily integrate cryptocurrency into their current payment systems. Whether consumers are purchasing burgers at Steak and Shake, burritos at Chipotle, snacks at Sheetz, coffee at Starbucks, or groceries at Whole Foods. Daily locations, daily payments. Additionally, consumers perceive it as being identical to tapping a phone or swiping a card. It must be as easy as possible if you want to see widespread adoption of cryptocurrency. It can't be difficult, and it definitely can't be a lengthy wait like we have with Bitcoin. However, it's not simply coffee runs. Walmart implemented Bitcoin payments in 50 stores, with the exception of BitPay for Amazon and Overstock. Shopify retailers can now quickly enable cryptocurrency payments for e-commerce, retail, and groceries. The use of cryptocurrency is growing in popularity. Check out the choice, and you can see how everything is coming together and fitting. For cryptocurrency, everything is coming together flawlessly. As they continue to make it easier and easier, more and more people will adopt cryptocurrency, and more shops will begin to accept it. So we are literally just about 24 months away from mass acceptance. So are credit cards accepted? No, a cash-only business requires cash payments. They will soon accept cryptocurrency, credit cards, and cash, which will help those firms grow and reduce the national debt. Crypto was developed for national security, to replace the petrodollar system, to bolster the US dollar, and to generate fresh demand for US debt, to stop the Third World War. Listen to this out. Stable coinage as envisioned and designed by the United States and Enbridge, in my opinion, are opposing forces. Enbridge and its success, in my opinion, will hasten de-dollarization. In contrast, stable coins at a time when all foreign central banks are selling their treasuries made the brilliant move, pardon the pun, of finding a means to jam more treasuries into previously unexplored nooks. Therefore, there are no more purchasers in the outside market. Treasury bills were traditionally purchased by the Chinese and Japanese, as well as by the UK and Saudi Arabia. Since all stable currencies require support from the US Treasury, the stable coin and its development are a way to find stability. That is the primary supporting instrument. Maintain it at a level. Therefore, the demand for treasuries increases with the stability of the coins you produce and their global use. And I suppose I mentioned it as soon as I got out. Did you notice what Russia said yesterday? One of Russia's ministers publicly stated yesterday that the Ponzi scam had been exposed. According to him, the United States is essentially manufacturing stable currencies in an effort to generate demand for treasuries. The dollar will lose value as soon as the debt is converted to these reliable currencies. Like they did in 1933, he added, because the United States made it illegal to own gold in 1933, and you had to turn it in. Additionally, an ounce of gold cost $27.60. As a result, while few people turn in their gold, those who are decent citizens do the same. How did the Fed respond? How did the United States respond? By revaluing gold to $35 an ounce, they have essentially defrauded the American people of 67% of their money. In light of that, Scott Bissett initially opposed the idea of the revaluation, but he has since modified his stance to remark, "I don't see that happening." However, do you imagine a scenario in which the Fed recently released a research report that depicts the possible course of that reality? Will the United States ever revalue gold and market to market from that point on? It is feasible. It might be their initial move, but I'm not sure. I believe they do so because they acknowledge the worth of gold after doing so. They have attempted to avoid it up to this point by referring to it as a tradition and a bat rock, or whatever they called it. Well, however, the gold will eventually be revalued, since all other nations are switching to gold-backed currency. As a result, the US will be forced to use gold to support the US digital dollar. However, he is correct. Currently, they are using the debt to support all of these treasuries, and are dispersing that debt globally. We don't have debt buyers anymore, therefore we require fresh debt purchasers. After which they will devalue the dollar, and defraud everyone. The final game is that, and they're doing this with stable coins, thus USDT is required for that reason. For this reason, both USDC and RLUSD are required. However, since I believe that RLUSD is the ultimate goal, I believe that things will turn out slightly differently. Gold will be used to support it. They will claim that the RLUSD differs from the USDT and USDC. We will proceed to support this with gold and establish that as the next digital currency. With over $37 trillion in debt, you can already see the direction the United States is going, albeit I'm not sure exactly where this is going yet. They wish to transfer it to another person. The source of this is Black Swan Capitalist. Because it is not issued by a government, is not reliant on any one economy, and is not susceptible to political manipulation, XRP functions as a neutral rail in a world where the dollar, euro, yen and yuan are becoming more and more isolated. According to Morgan Stanley, SWIFT may face a $1 trillion threat from XRP. They warn you that it will happen. Every bank is aware that XRP is the future, and SWIFT is the past. That's the crux of the matter. However, only a limited number of persons were able to decipher these articles. The majority say, well, maybe that will happen. They are warning you that something will occur. All the money is in XRP. Phase 1, tokenization of real-world assets is the third step, followed by government and CBDC adoption and global payment rail integration. All three of those things are already taking place. Adoption of liquidity hubs is number 4. The next big thing is that, I believe they will use XRP to build such enormous liquidity pools. The fifth is regulatory approval. That's just a few months away. Sixth, world scale and variance. That might start in 2026, in my opinion. 7, strategically unlock the escrow. Through Ripple acquisitions, that is already taking place, further improving XRP's utility positioning. 8, tier 1 assets from the IMF, ESDR, and BIS. I believe the likelihood of XRP becoming an ESDR is very high. We would easily be looking at a 4-digit XRP if that were to occur. Furthermore, many people think Ripple is an IMF product. To put it another way, they believe Ripple is affiliated with the IMF. It would make sense, I mean. For all those tables, Brad receives a C. Analyzing the Rex Osprey Xrp Etf, the new XRP fund. Therefore, investing more than 80% of assets in XRP and XRP-related items is the main approach. Purchase XRP directly from Coinbase and Kraken. For flexibility and compliance, XRP and Cayman subsidiaries are available. ETP allocation against ETF. Additionally, 40% exposure is provided by ETFs such as 21 shares and WIZ shares, which aim for volatility and target one-to-one price movements. But yield returns with staking returns could help the fund defray those expenses. Therefore, why would you not simply purchase the asset itself if you are already aware that these costs apply when purchasing an ETF? That's not clear to me. All of these organizations want to learn about cryptocurrency, but do not want to own the real thing. Currently, I do think that many of these institutions will change and eventually hold the. However, many believe that they are all headed to the place where Ripple becomes the place where they may also be detained. That's probably much higher. Most likely those are not the real statistics. The banks are still dealing with a severe liquidity situation. As I mentioned, if you don't believe that they will do bail-ins, you should know that a bail-in is when they steal your money, which is the customer's money. Usually the US government provides a bailout. Therefore, the government has previously provided bank bailouts when the banks have encountered difficulties. You're going to be saving the banks this time.